In this video, I'm going to talk about the things you will need to do when you arrive in Belgium. So this video is important because if you're planning on coming to Belgium, you will know the things that you will need to do to make your settling better in Belgium. Or if you already landed in Belgium, you may get some tips on what to already do. So I'll talk about schools for kids if you have kids, opening a bank account, registering at the commune hall, and looking for uh, your family doctor, amongst other things. So please watch till the end.
Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Lina Cabanya.
Okay, so let's get into the first thing. The moment you land in Belgium, you have 8 days to go to the local community hall, which is known as the Gemeente House if you're in the Flemish region, or the Commune if you are in the French region or in Brussels. So there you have to go within 8 days. And you go with your passport, with your visa, with your proof of accommodation or your rental contract, as well as your passport sized photo. You may also need to pay for this. It's usually 24 euros, but it depends on the commune that you are at. So once you register, you'll get a unique ID. It may take time to come out. So they may give you an annex that you can use in the meantime whilst you wait for your ID. So again, depending on the commune, it can take between 2 weeks to about 2 months before you have your ID. So this ID is important because it is the one that you use as proof of residence in Belgium. If you want to open a bank account, when you're looking for a job, even when you now want to travel to other countries in the Schengen area, you will need this ID. So it's very important that you register for it. Let me already give you a pro tip. If you don't speak French or Dutch, the local languages, it may be good for you to look for a translator or someone who understands the languages to go with you to make the process a bit smoother. Or if you know the basics, then that's good. But also, you may ask them to speak in English because some of them are multilingual. They may speak some of those languages. So let's go on to the second thing that you must or you need to do for you to better settle in Belgium. The next one I'll talk about is setting up a health insurance as well as looking for a family doctor. So if you're coming under study visa, usually I think you already applied for it or you got assistance from the school or they already encouraged you on a certain health insurance. If you also came through a work visa, you have to ask your employer or probably they've already applied it for you, helped you or encouraged you. But you can apply for the CM, the Paterna, there are different kinds. So you research into these ones and you already have a health insurance because this helps you to get discounted prices when you go for a consultation at a doctor. So to get a family doctor, you need to register with one because if you're not feeling well, you do not just walk into a hospital. You have to go through first your family doctor, and it's not expensive as long as you have insurance. Your insurance covers for it. And if you are a student also, or you have a certain wage that is lower than the minimum wage or lower than expected wage, you also get heavily discounted when you go and see your doctor. So to get a family doctor, you can get one through Doctor Anytime. It is an app. There are also many other apps that you can register through. So some doctors will not be taking because they already have a lot of clients. So you really have to do this way in time so that you are already registered to your family doctor in case something happens within the months that you come. So you just search for different doctors depending on your location usually. So those that are practicing towards where you are staying so that it's easier for you. And then you can filter using language as well. Those that speak French, Dutch, English, some even speak Spanish, Italian. So depending on where you're coming from, you may also find that interesting to choose a doctor who speaks the same language as you. So you already filter and you choose, you make a first appointment and they open a global file for you. They can encourage that you go and get your bloods tested. So they already have this information in their database. And then after that, they register you with your ID card. So you go and see your doctor after you have your ID card. So now they have all the information about you. So next time you just make an appointment through the doctor anytime. Now you're a client to that doctor and it makes everything very simple and easy. So that is the second thing, your health insurance as well as your family doctor. Let's get into the next thing. Okay, the next thing you may need to do is to open a bank account, a local bank account. So once you have your ID card, you go with that, you go with your residence permit and your proof of residence as well. So you may also consider to open other online accounts, I think like Revolut, maybe in the meantime, to help you. But local banks include KBC, ING, BMP. There are several others depending on the benefits. You may also get advice from your coworkers or from people in your neighborhood to also encourage you on which one is better. Personally, I use KBC as well as BMP if that also helps. And I think they are quite good banks, especially for expats. And then the other thing is finding a school. So if you have kids, you may want to already look at finding a school. I wish I had known this one earlier. Daycare is very difficult to find, such that people already register when they're still pregnant or when their kids are very little. So if you are moving with your child who's like 1 year something, it may be very difficult to find daycare, especially if your workplace does not offer daycare or your school does not offer daycare. You may ask your local council to help you with open places, but if you have to find it that late, it could be also expensive. But if you can already try to already register those places when you're still in your home country, it's good. And then fortunately, kids start going to school when they're 2.5 years. So once they turn 2.5, they can start going to school. But again, for you to enroll them in school, you have to go on the different websites to already enroll in time when they open. So I'm going to link some of the websites, especially for Dutch schools that I use. So there are French schools, Dutch schools, and also German because there are three local languages in Belgium. So you may already make the decision on which language you want your child to be learning in when you register for them. So it's also important to know that during the summer school, the summer vacation, or the Lent vacation, that is the autumn vacation or the spring, they also have these breaks, and you may be going to work. You may want to take your kids to a vacation school. Some schools do not offer aftercare, like care for the holidays. So you may want to register your kids. And some websites called, there's one that is called Vrij Vakantie for Dutch schools. So I'll also link them down in my bio. Can also help you to look for a place to place your kid. So these are things that you have to take note of. So let's move on to the last thing that I'm going to talk about, and that is integration and then discounts that you can get. Okay, so for the transport system, if you're in Brussels, the transport system is pretty good. So you must already get your Mobib card where you can buy your Steve's transport card for the whole month, for the whole year, or the Delin one if you're in the Dutch area, or the Tech one if you're in the Wallonia region, which is the French region. So you can get discounts. You have to check with your mutuality, that is your health insurance, if you're liable to certain discounts, because you can get heavily discounted. For example, if you do not have a discount and your workplace does not provide transport for you, you can get a discount from having to pay 50 euros, from having to pay something like 384 euros for the whole year to something like 85 euros per year for Brussels, that is the Steebs, or the Delin one from having to pay 100 and something to like 54 euro for the whole year. So I knew this late, and you have to ask your mutuality to just send them an email to say, am I liable for a certain discount? And they send you certain papers that you have to fill in depending on your income. This is how they calculate whether you're liable for discounts. And this also applies to the train. So once they give you the go ahead that yes, you're liable, it registers in your Mobib card. So you see that when you buy for your train ticket, you don't have to pay the full amount. You pay the discounted amount, which is very lower. Sometimes it's pretty lower than the student discount as well, because student discounts may actually be higher. And also student discounts are only for people that are below 26 years. So this one also applies to people that are over 26. As long as your income is low, below a certain threshold, then you apply for it. So please do ask your insurance. So that's about it. And then I get into integration. Integration is a very important, and sometimes people don't know about it because maybe it's not plainly written somewhere. But sometimes there's a paper that you get when you reach at the airport, but we don't really read these things, but it already gives you the websites. So the one that we used for Brussels that I used was Born. So I'll also put a link in my bio. If you go through Born, you can schedule lessons with them, integration lessons, where they'll teach you about the history of Belgium. They'll teach you about all these things: insurance, how to get discounts, vacation schools for your children, how to get discounted vacations like day vacations if you want to go and see certain places, if you want to go to certain museums, to certain parks that you have to pay, and you can get discounted amounts because you're registered with Bond. And they can give you a personal counselor that will help you with all things that you need to ask, and that includes registering you for your language. So this is mainly the Dutch integration side. So they help you to register with CVO Lithas or other Dutch schools where you learn Dutch language. They say it's for free. It is, but you have to pay something small for the books that you get. So you can learn up to 2.4, but they say it's important that you learn the up to 2.1, that is 1 1 and 1 2, up to 1 2. But if you really want to integrate well, I encourage that if you have time, you learn all the way to 2.4. And when you learn to 2.4, for example, you're a dependent, you came here with your partner but you're not working, when you learn up to 2.4, you can follow different courses through Vidiabi. You can register with Actiris. It's also important to register with Actiris that you are a job seeker, and they give you a job coach, a career coach as well. So they can also usher you into these courses. It's called an opleiding. So it can be in very different fields. You can already check at Fidiabi the different courses that you can do, and this can also help you. So it's very important to do integration. It's unfortunate some of us later learn about it 1 year into living in Belgium. So if you're watching this video and you're planning on moving to Belgium, the moment you get to Belgium, look for an integration platform, website, particularly Bonn. I encourage it because it's the one that I used. Learn the basics of the language that you're interested in. If it's a French, already look into the information of, okay, how can I integrate into the French region? So these are the tips that I can leave you with for now that will make your living in Belgium, probably for the first year, much smoother and much better than I had to, because I didn't have this information. So if this was informative, find someone to share with, subscribe and like. And until next time, thank you for watching.